Hi, my name's Jill. I'm the Cor Anglais player in the Philharmonia Orchestra. So this is a Cor Anglais. It is a member of the oboe family. It's like the alto member of the oboe family. It looks very similar to the oboe. It's made of the same wood, which is grenadilla wood. The key work is very similar, but visually it has an onion-shaped bell, and at the top, the double reed, which is the same as the oboe, sits on top of a metal tube or crook. It sounds different to the oboe in that it's much lower. I'll just demonstrate that. It's much more melancholy than the oboe and is generally used for very sad tunes. The most famous one is probably the second movement from Dvorak's New World Symphony. It's very much a solo instrument within the orchestra. It has lots of very big solos. And it does support the oboe section as well, as it's lower in pitch. But generally, it's a solo instrument. The sound isn't quite as piercing as the oboe, which means that it's much more mellow, the tone is much more mellow, which makes it more difficult to actually get through the orchestra. An oboe, because of its piercing sound, just can get straight through. So it can play so many different things, whereas the Cor Anglais, generally, when it has a solo within the orchestra, there isn't very much else going on. So it's usually in much more subdued areas, I would say. Once your fingers have obviously gone down these keys here that they all fit on, this one here is operated by that little finger there, and this one here is then operated here. You see it pressing that one down there. That's how you get to those basically, or else you'd be using your feet. Often when I sort of ask if I go and do classes, even with older students, I'll say, so how do you make a sound on the Cor Anglais or oboe for that matter, because it's the same. I'll say, how do you make the sound? They say, you blow down it. So I go, okay. Of course, you don't blow down it. In actual fact, what happens is you need this reed, which is two pieces of cane clamped together with this rather nice pink thread. They're clamped together, and when you blow down them, they vibrate together, and that's what makes a ridiculous sound like this. It's like when you can get a blade of grass and put it between your thumbs and you blow like that. It's exactly the same thing. It's vibrating together. So that is how you make the sound, basically. That's about as high as it goes. Yeah, this is the reed. It consists of two pieces of cane. We all make these as professional oboists. We have to make these, which is a pain, but we have to do it. And you can see the thread here. We tie this onto this metal bit at the bottom, which is actually called a staple. That metal bit just goes up to the top of the thread. So we wind the cane on with the thread, and as you can see, it's open at the top. If I just squeeze it open there, and then when you blow down it, these two pieces vibrate together like that. And because we all use incredibly different reeds, we need to make them ourselves so that we can individualise them. I spend it's very difficult to say actually. I probably spend a couple of hours a week on reeds, I would say. Yeah. You can make 10 reeds and probably only 2 of them will work, which is why it's so frustrating. Quite often we are required to play both Cor Anglais and oboe, because as Cor Anglais players, we originally started off on the oboe. So we are in pieces of music. Often at the front it will say Cor Anglais doubling oboe, which means we have to play both instruments. Not at the same time, obviously, but it means that I have a special stand which sits by the side of me with both instruments on, and I kind of switching them about like this. And it is quite tricky, because what happens with the reeds is that they dry out when they're not being played on, so you can sometimes pick up your instrument and think it's going to play and it's all dried out and you just end up going and it doesn't work at all, which is quite embarrassing. But yeah, we are expected to play the oboe as well.
If you've enjoyed learning about the instruments in the orchestra, why not try our iPad app, The Orchestra, featuring Esa-Pekka Salonen and the Philharmonia Orchestra. Fully interactive video playback lets you view the orchestra from all angles, and the revolutionary beat map shows you who is playing when. Follow along with synchronized scores. Hear the inside scoop in audio commentaries, and get a 360-degree view of all the instruments. Available for download in the App Store on iTunes.